Hi guys, I'm going to be showing you how to start putting together the logos in Photoshop for our logo project. So I have a few up already that I want to show you my progress with. And like I said before, we are going to be creating 4 merged logos. So that's a total of 8 existing logos being merged together to create 4 new ones. Like I said when we went around and did our sketches. You can use the same one twice. So if I use the McDonald's logo to merge with Under Armour, I could also use the McDonald's logo to merge with something else, but try and choose 8 completely different logos. I do have a theme with my example. I'm doing fast food restaurants with workout clothes brands, as you can see here. So all of them together at the end. Well, I won't have the original logos up top like I do right now. Those are just for reference for me while I'm working. And I will have all 4 of these new merged logos put together on a document. So I'll show you how to do that probably in a separate video because that will be at the end of our project. So I want to talk a little bit about starting, but I also want to talk about revisions. So let's get into how to select these logos and manipulate them. And then we will talk about revisions. Maybe if this is a little long, I will get into that in a different video, or we can just get into that a little bit more in class. So I have the Under Armour logo separate because I want to really zoom in and show you how to select it in a few different ways. So there are um, many different selection tools over here on your toolbar. We do have an ellipse selection tool. So if I use that circle, if you have something that's a circle like the middle of the Starbucks logo, or there's been a few, the middle of logos, you can just select and delete it just like that. If you have a circle, that's super easy for you. It'll be an easy thing to delete or manipulate in that way. Again, I just selected and then hit the backspace on my keyboard. I'm going to Control D, which is deselect. I'm just kidding. I'm going to Z, which is back, and then deselect so that I have that not deleted. And I can also do my rectangle. So I can choose any rectangle and delete, and it's gone from that layer only. If I had other layers, it would not delete it. I'm going to Control Z, undo, and Control D is deselect. Now, those are the basic ones. There's also the quick selection tool, which I grab it. And since the Under Armour tool is very high contrast from the background, it knows exactly what to grab and it's almost extremely accurate. Sometimes the edges are a little jagged, but for the most part, it's very, very accurate of what it's trying to grab. So it took a second, as you can see, it just load, and then it grabbed this is what is selected. So as soon as I click that, that's what will be selected. So now you see the dotted blinking line, that means it's selected. And I can delete it and I can show you that it's very accurate. Control deselect. It grabbed every single bit of that logo because it's very high contrast. If I had something like blue on green, it might not know exactly what to select. It might be a little bit finicky, but since it's black on nothing right now, or if it was black on white, Photoshop knows exactly what to select. Now, what I wanted to do for my logo merge is I wanted to grab just the A of the Under Armour separate so that I could make it yellow. And I actually ignore the outline right now. I didn't finish putting that in, but that's part of the revision process that I wanted to show you. So I don't want to select the entire thing. As easy as that was, I do want to only select the A. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab my quick selection tool. That's the one with the little kind of irregular circle here. And this selection tool is going to be the most helpful for you to create whatever you need. The The slider up here changes the size, so I can make it as big or as small as I need it to be for my image that I'm selecting. So I can see that it's getting bigger, and it can get really small for details. So I think that's fine. I'm not going to be too picky. Now this plus and minus is really important up here. So I have the whole thing selected right now. So I actually want to deselect some of it. So I'm going to click the minus, and I'm going to just drag it around a little bit and deselect some of it. I deselected all of it. Let me go back. So I want to select the A. I'm just dragging it where I need it. I need a little bit more of this part here. And I'm going to go back, deselect, and take out this line here because I just want the A. So I'm just clicking, dragging, pulling it around. I can let go and it will keep my selection. It doesn't have to be all in one swoop. And I'm just refining this line here. So I need to go back, I need to add a little bit more to this line because it doesn't know, since this is all black area, it can't see that implied line that I can see, so it doesn't know what I'm trying to select. That's where I kind of have to help it out, and I have to maneuver it a little bit back and forth, add, subtract, and show it where I want it to select. So I think that's pretty good for what I need right now. And I'll deselect this corner here. Okay, now I have that selection. If I had a lot of trouble with that, I can save this selection so that I never have to do that again. And that is select and save selection. And I actually can label it Under Armour A or whatever I need to label it. And I can keep that selection so I can grab it later. Now here's a few things you can do with this selection. What I like to do is always make a copy of it so that when I manipulate it, it's a new layer and I'm not manipulating the original logo. So I'm actually going to literally copy and paste without moving anything else. I made the selection, didn't touch anything, don't press enter, anything else like that. Copy and paste on your keyboard, Control C, Control V, and it made a new layer automatically. So I'm going to get rid of that other layer and we're just looking at this one. As you can see, it's not as clear, perfect as the quick selection was because it couldn't tell exactly which pixels I needed to select because it's all black. There's no high contrast there. So now is where I have to go in and manually fix this up a little bit. So I will erase a little bit. That's too much. I will erase a little bit, and then I can also grab my brush and brush in a little bit and go back and forth and fix that up a little bit as I need to. So that's where your drawing skills will come in handy. Okay, now that I have this, I can also do, well, let's go back. I want to go back to my selection and I want to show you a few other things you can do to manipulate that selection before you make it its own piece. So I'm going to go back a few. Now I have my selection. I can change the color of this selection without making it a new piece. So if you want to manipulate it right on here, I can change the color with the paint bucket tool and it changes the color of that selection. I can also delete it like I showed you earlier, and I can also have some other filters or whatever I want to make it look like. So things like that. All of these are going to be very specific to what you're looking for. So I don't want to take too much time to show you every single little thing here, but if you have all of these selections, these filters, like I said, these will all change that selection only, and these rotations will all change that selection as well.